At 28 years old, I was broke, exhausted, and invisible in one of the flashiest cities in America. I lived in a cramped studio apartment on the edge of Miami, where the rent was too high, the walls were too thin, and the air conditioner barely worked. Every month felt like a fight. I was losing. My bank account hovered at single digits. My student loans followed me like a curse. From a college degree I never finished. And every morning I woke up with the same heavy realization I was working harder than ever, but getting nowhere. By day, I was a food delivery driver. I spent 12-hour shifts weaving through Miami traffic under the brutal Florida heat, dropping off gourmet meals to luxury condos in Brickell, South Beach, and Star Island. I carried sushi platters, Wagyu steaks, imported wine meals worth more than I had in my account. And every time I handed one over, I wondered the same thing. How were these people living so differently from me? What did they know that I didn't? The answer came on a stormy Tuesday night. Miami was getting hit with one of those rare tropical downpours that turned streets into rivers. I had one final delivery before ending my shift, a $180 sushi order headed to a penthouse in Brickell. I almost cancelled, but I needed the tip. When I arrived, I was drenched. My sneakers squished against marble floors as I stepped into the private elevator that carried me 50 stories above the city. The doors opened into a penthouse that looked like something out of a movie. Floor-to-ceiling windows, a skyline view of Biscayne Bay, minimalist furniture, and a silence that somehow felt expensive. That's where I met him, Marcus Reed. He wasn't what I expected. No flashy jewelry, no loud energy, no entourage. He wore a fitted black t-shirt, tailored joggers, and the calm confidence of someone who had mastered something far more valuable than money. I handed him the food, but before I could stop myself, I asked the question that had been haunting me for years. How do you do it? He looked at me. I swallowed hard. How do you live like this while I'm out there grinding 12 hours a day and still can't afford the food I'm carrying? For a moment, he said nothing. Then he gave me a look I'll never forget, not pity, not arrogance, just pure, surgical honesty. You're not poor because you don't work hard, he said. You're poor because your discipline is aimed at survival instead of leverage. That sentence hit me harder than anything I'd ever heard. He invited me in. On a sleek black counter sat a leather notebook. He slid it toward me. If you give me 90 days of your life, absolute discipline, zero excuses, total commitment, I'll show you how to build a bridge from where you are to where I am. I stared at him. There's one rule, he added. Break the system once and we're done. I didn't hesitate. Tell me what to do. Inside the notebook were 3 principles, what he called the secret of discipline. The first was the 4 o'clock a.m. power gap. Marcus explained that most people start their day reacting, scrolling, texting, answering other people's demands. But from 4 o'clock a.m. to 8 o'clock a.m., the world is quiet. No distractions, no noise. Those hours belong to the few willing to claim them. That was where futures were built. Every day, I had to wake at exactly 4 o'clock a.m., no exceptions. Those 4 hours were dedicated to mastering one high-income skill. For me, that skill became automation systems for law firms, building software-driven lead generation and client intake solutions for legal businesses. The second principle was the rule of one. No chasing multiple ideas. No trying to become everything. One skill, one market, one problem, one offer. Marcus said complexity destroys execution. Focus creates wealth. The third principle was radical deprivation. For 90 days, I had to cut out everything unnecessary. I deleted social media, stopped hanging out, cancelled streaming subscriptions, ate the same meals every day, grilled chicken, brown rice, vegetables. Same routine, same schedule, no wasted choices. Marcus called it preserving mental bandwidth. Every small decision drains energy, and if I wanted elite performance, every ounce of focus had to go toward the mission. The first month was brutal. I hated every second of it. At 4:15 a.m., while Miami slept, I sat in my dim apartment learning systems, sales, coding, and business strategy. Some mornings I was so exhausted I could barely focus. Some nights I questioned whether any of it mattered. I still drove deliveries during the day, still dealt with rude customers and impossible traffic, still came home drained. But I never broke the system. I sent 50 personalized outreach videos every day to boutique law firms across the US. Most ignored me. Some rejected me. One replied with 3 words, "Lose this number." I kept going. By day 42, everything changed. A personal injury law firm in Tampa agreed to a $5,000 trial project. I delivered results that tripled their qualified leads in under 2 weeks. That one success turned into referrals, then more clients, then bigger contracts. By the end of month 2, I had over $30,000 in my business account. For the first time in my life, I had momentum, but I stayed disciplined. No lifestyle upgrades, no luxury spending. I reinvested in software, systems, and better infrastructure. By month 3, I had turned my freelance work into a scalable service. I wasn't selling time anymore. I was selling transformation. Then came the biggest move. I pitched a national legal network headquartered in Chicago. Instead of asking for work, I showed them a system that could save them over $2 million annually in operational inefficiencies and lead conversion gaps. On day 88, they signed. $400,000 up front, monthly retainers, performance bonuses, projected annual income, $1.2 million. 90 days after starting, I had officially crossed into millionaire territory. But the money wasn't the real victory. On day 90, I returned to Marcus's penthouse in Brickell. This time, I wasn't delivering food. I carried the notebook filled with plans, numbers, strategies, and proof of what I had become. "I did it," I said. Marcus nodded. "But that's not the secret, is it?" I asked. He smiled. "No, the money is only the side effect." He leaned forward. "The real secret is that you became someone who can do what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like it, at a level most people will never reach. That kind of discipline creates wealth in every area of life." That was the moment I understood. I didn't become a millionaire because of automation systems. I became a millionaire because I built a mindset stronger than comfort, because I stopped negotiating with my goals, because I became the kind of man who could execute under pressure, without applause, without motivation, and without excuses. That was the true transformation. The money simply followed. And if there's one thing I know now, it's this: 90 days will pass no matter what. You can spend them trapped in the same habits that keep you average, or you can use them to become someone entirely different. For me, it started at 4:00 a.m. in Miami, and it ended with a life I once thought only existed for other people. If this story inspired you, like and subscribe for more powerful stories.